and gentlemen, the fans have spoken. Oops, I did it again. Fans isn't spelled S-H-I-L-L-S. So, hey there, folks. I am the Goblin King, and we're coming back to a topic we haven't visited in a while. That pile of steaming shit revisionist fiction known as Amazon's Rings of Power. Now, this little article comes from another shill or woke website, Giant Freaking Robot. Now, what's weird about this whole thing is that this news I'm currently covering is well over a week old, but I just came across it today in the Google feed while I was searching for something else. At the time, I sort of jumped on the thing because I thought it was brand new news. However, all this shit took place the Monday before last, on the 9th. The even weirder thing was, you see how that time thing says 7 seconds ago? No matter how many times I refreshed this article throughout the day, it stayed at 7 seconds. That's really weird, right? I'm not the only one thinking that. I was even going to put this shit out on Twitter and tag Gary and Ryan because I thought this news was fresh. It's a good thing that I decided to make sure of it though, because I came across Gary's video on the subject right off the bat, and it was 4 days old. Really good video, by the way. You should go check that out over at Nerdrotic's channel. It also helps that Gary knows what the fuck he's talking about when it comes to Lord of the Rings. He's one of those fuckers that has almost religiously studied this shit, and rereads the books and rewatches the films at least once a year. Now, he's not a Tolkien scholar, and never makes those sort of claims. Unlike some dumbass blue-haired woke bitches that want to put all their useless PhDs and imaginary jobs in their titles. However, again, he knows his shit and is a ride-or-die fan. Anyways, the point being is that this is apparently week-old news that's already been covered by better content creators than me, but I'm covering it anyway because I made the choice damn near after I woke up, and it's too late to change it now. For real, I've been pussyfooting around with writing this script for hours now, and it doesn't help that I've been interrupted constantly by fucking retards. Now, this news dropped I don't know how the fuck long ago on Giant Freaking Robot, and they do the usual shill bullshit. Talking up Amazon's Rings of Power revisionist shit, talking about how highly anticipated it is, and how lucky these so-called die-hard fans were to get an all-expense-paid trip to Oxford and London to a lavishly catered party to see 20 minutes of the revisionist fiction. Now, I'm not going to say that the people chosen weren't lucky to get that trip and go to Oxford and get their shill goodie bag and all that jazz. Not at all. I'm just calling them exactly what they are. Shills. These were the people with the biggest platforms who shilled the hardest for Amazon's dog shit and got a nice prize for doing it. I mean, it's no coincidence that proven shill fucktards like theonering.net were invited out there to fillet their corporate overlords. Yeah, I'm sure that their reaction and subsequent tweets about it were completely unbiased, considering their first reaction, watch party, was done in partnership with Amazon. It honestly makes me wonder how much Jeff Bezos paid them to fillet him. Like, did he have to pay them all at one time, or did he maybe get a group discount? I wonder if that price point was figured into the overall budget of the show as services rendered, or perhaps in the advertising budget. One of the most ironic things about this part of the article here is that they talk about how anticipated this shit show is. Well, I mean, let's just take a look at exactly how much fans of the books and or those amazing Peter Jackson films actually look forward to this show. And would you look at that? The US trailer's still holding steady at a whopping 1.6 million dislikes overall, and the UK one still at 57,000 dislikes. Anyone else notice that there are more dislikes on the US trailer than the official Amazon Prime YouTube account has subscribers? That's pretty funny. The last part of this paragraph going into the first tweet that they showcase, which is about 90% of this supposed article, comes from this dude who, unironically, calls himself the Tolkien Professor. Some dipshit named Corey Olson also has a PhD, which, as I've said before, having that degree doesn't mean he's smart. Gary actually brings up a couple of good questions regarding this moron's dubious qualifications, which I'll play for you now.
In charge. Far be it from me to question a professor and Stephen Colbert, but wasn't this the guy who got it wrong about dwarven women's beards?
What's the deal with everyone saying that dwarven women are meant to have beards? Is that from the books?
It's like a bizarre fan fascination. Tolkien never says dwarven women have beards.
that said that Numenor was near the equator when Arda was quite flat at the time.
Oi, don't say that. That's not true.
Now, as I said, the majority of this article is the supposed writer showcasing all these SHILLS tweets, which I've also handily compiled for you all to look at. Feel free to pause if you want to read them. What's strange about them is that they're all almost verbatim the exact same thing. They all state that they've now met with the Bad Reboot showrunners and were impressed with their passion, and now all their reservations have magically evaporated, and that they're confident that Tolkien's legacy is in good hands. All of them. They all say the same shit, which is basically nothing at all, in lockstep. Gary also compiled this fun little checklist as regarding all these people and their talking points, and it seems pretty accurate to me. If you want to watch his video, he also has some of these people's videos compiled into it along with their tweets. The videos, honestly, they didn't seem excited at all. They had the same dour faces that I imagined I had walking out of The Last Jedi, or hell, The Force Awakens for that matter. What would have impressed me more about this whole thing is if Amazon had actually done this with people who have been largely critical of the project up to this point. People like Gary from Nerdrotic, or Just Some Guy, or Disparu, or any number of other people that have voiced their dissent over this. If they'd been able to change those guys' minds, rather than having the usual shills come out and continue to shill, that would have had way more of an impact over the general fandom, I believe. They might have seen a turnaround and actually seen some real fan anticipation, rather than something the shill media has to manufacture, or that the woke retard mobs have to try to shame people into having. But nope. They went with their usual ring of corpo hookers. So, when this show actually drops and they don't get nearly the numbers they were anticipating, well, it'll be on them. And that's all I think I can muster up for you on this one, folks. As always, these are my opinions and mine alone. You're welcome to give me your thoughts and opinions in the handy section provided for that purpose down below. While you're down there, don't mind the wet sucking sounds. That's just Tolkien fan sites paying tribute to their overlord Jeff Bezos. If you like my stupid opinions, you can get more of them if you join my big green horde. All you gotta do is crush those like and subscribe buttons. Like a goblin. I'll see you all later for an anime review. See you then. Lates.